Like any great story, a great workout should have a beginning, a middle, and an end. The beginning in this case comes in the form of a warm up, the middle in that of the workout itself, and the end being the cool down. But with a proper warm up comes extra time and energy necessary, which can be inconvenient for many on some days due to work, school, or family responsibilities. So today we'll discuss why warming up is worth it. But first, as always, please take note of our disclaimer. By and large, a good warm up will constitute about 5 to 10 minutes of stretching, light cardio, mild strength exercises, stability exercises, or some combo of each. The more intense the activity you're preparing for, though, the longer it should be. You also want to use your entire body during a warm up, not just your arms or legs. Starting off with stretching, we're sure we don't need to tell you why it's essential. It allows for a greater range of motion and eases the stress on joints and tendons, which can help prevent injury. However, what you mightn't know is there are actually two main forms of stretching that should be utilized at different segments of a workout: static stretching and dynamic stretching. To explain the difference between them, we need to distinguish flexibility from mobility. These terms are commonly used interchangeably, but they're not the same thing, even if they do influence each other quite a bit. Flexibility is the ability of a muscle to lengthen passively. On the other hand, mobility is the ability of a joint to move actively through its range of motion. Now, akin to flexibility, muscle length is also a determinant of joint mobility, but with the addition of the rest of the soft tissues in the area, such as the tendons, ligaments, joint capsule, and skin. So, using the hand as an example, flexibility would be when you can pull it back behind your back with your other hand. In contrast, mobility would be the ability to get your hand to the exact same spot without the help of the other hand. Again, passive versus active. And suppose you're like many people watching this video that just tried that out and were able to do it passively but not actively. In that case, the reason is that you probably have good flexibility in the relevant muscles in the concerning arm, but not quite as good mobility from restrictions in some of the other soft tissues. Therefore, going back to the different kinds of stretching, since static stretching involves passively holding a stretch at its end range without moving, hence static, it mainly focuses on flexibility. In contrast, as dynamic stretching moves a joint actively through its range of motion without holding at the end, hence dynamic, it more so focuses on mobility. As a result, from a functionality point of view, dynamic stretching is better than static as it targets restrictions in all soft tissues rather than muscle alone. Of course, you'll be familiar with what regular static stretching looks like. But an example of dynamic stretching would be a leg pendulum, where you start to swing one leg back and forth 5 to 10 times while balancing on the other. Moreover, there are other advantages to dynamic stretching apart from functionality. It also improves blood flow and consequently the transfer of oxygen and nutrients to your muscles for better performance, activates your nervous system, and prepares your body for the movements that will be carried out in the forthcoming activity. And with the added blood flow to the muscles in particular, also comes their warming, which will let the muscles contract more forcefully and relax more quickly, enhancing both speed and strength. One study by Haddon et al. In 2014 found that dynamic stretching positively affected explosive performances, while static stretching harmed explosive performances for up to 24 hours post-stretching. So, on top of helping someone's performance in sports, dynamic stretching can also help maximize muscle hypertrophy from your resistance workouts. Therefore, considering all this, we recommend doing dynamic stretches in your warm-up with, say, one set of 10 reps for each main joint. I've left a link to a video in the description to show practical examples. However, we still want to include some static stretching to optimize flexibility simultaneously. So aim to do them in your cool down, doing 2 sets of 20 seconds for each major muscle group. Alongside this, we also recommend including foam rolling in your cool down. For further info into why, please check out our video on cooling down in the top right hand corner of the screen. Moving forward, we then have light cardio. Many people might think that this is only worth undertaking to burn a few extra calories, but there are several other reasons to do it, which is why you'll see many gym goers do it despite the fact they're bulking. Number 1, light dynamic stretching. Light cardio warm-ups increase your blood circulation and obtain the associated benefits already pointed out. Number 2, it helps to bring your heart rate up slowly and activate the cardiovascular system to prepare it for the demands of the upcoming exercise. This can also help reduce the risk of dizziness or lightheadedness during a workout. Number 3, when it comes to warming up before a sport, doing light cardio drills of the movements that will be carried out during it is good as it helps you to clear your mind, enhance your focus, and review your skills and strategy. Additionally, it assists in activating neural pathways to enhance reaction time and communication between the nerves and muscles and help stimulate the motor patterns needed for optimal performance. And finally, number 4, studies suggest that doing light cardio in combination with stretching and strength exercises in your warm-up can reduce the risk of injury. For example, the FIFA 11 Plus warm-up program demonstrated that footballers can decrease their risk of severe injuries by 50%. On a side note, if you are interested in undertaking our evidence-based and results-backed personalized Plato weight management program, please click the link in the top right-hand corner of the video or follow the link in the description. Finally, you'll also see people in the gym doing mild strength and/or stabilization exercises, often with resistance bands, before their proper workout. But these aren't to build muscle. Instead, they can be to rehab current injuries or prehab the risk for them later down the line. Mild strength exercises help to momentarily activate certain muscles to help reduce strength discrepancies between opposing ones, bringing the joints they surround into better alignment. Stabilization exercises then help to keep them there. In the case of the shoulder joint, the rotator cuff would be a perfect example of this. The rotator cuff is a collective term for 4 muscles that come together as tendons from the shoulder blade to form a covering around the head of your humerus. Due to our habitual tendency as people to slump our head and shoulders forward, 3 of these muscles on the outer side of the shoulder are prone to get weaker than the one on the inner, which shifts the humeral head from optimal positioning. If you see people doing exercises like this at the gym when starting, that's likely what they're after. One of the reasons this is bad is because the more the heads of bones in a joint become malpositioned, the higher the likelihood that other structures in the joint will get impinged. For the shoulder, the supraspinatus tendon comes to mind. But by activating specific muscles and stabilizing joints before working out, you can keep joints tracking properly, reducing pain and discomfort, or the probability of an injury that puts you out of action altogether. To get a better idea of the exercises that will be best for you, seeing a physiotherapist is recommended. Further, another advantage of stabilization exercises within a warm-up is that they can help increase the amount of weight you're able to lift, particularly when it comes to compound exercises like the bench press, squat, or deadlift. As with any structure, the less unstable a fulcrum is, the more load it'll be able to withstand. Is there anything else you'd like to add? We'd love to hear from you in the comments section down below. Additionally, if you're new here, make sure to like and subscribe to our channel. So, that has been our video. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.